going? Today we're going to try a new recipe on our Instant Pot. We're going to try to make a beef stew and see how it turns out. Now, the ingredients for this beef stew include 1 medium onion chopped, 2 large carrots chopped, 2 small celery stalks chopped, 3 large garlic cloves grated and divided. I think that means they're to be kept separate. I mean, that's what that by definition means. 2 pounds of potatoes cubed, 1.5 pounds of chuck or any cheap roast beef cubed into 1-inch pieces, 3 ounces of tomato paste, 1 bouillon cube, 2 cups of water, 1 teaspoon of oregano dried, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 3/4 teaspoon of salt, ground black pepper to taste, 3 bay leaves, 5 peppercorns, 1 cup of frozen peas, and 1.5 to 3/4 cup of fresh dill, finely chopped. Now they say you can use an alternative as parsley. We're going to use parsley instead. So the first step of the recipe says to chop stuff up and just toss it into the Instant Pot. So we're going to just start with that. Okay, now we are to put 2 of the garlic cloves in there right now. All right, now the recipe calls for 1.5 pounds of beef. I got a lot more than that, mainly because I have an aversion to fat in my meat. That is a personal preference. So I'll be cutting out quite a bit, and you may call it waste, and it may be so, but I don't like fat. I don't like it in my mouth. I don't like the way it feels. I don't like the greasy texture it leaves. So I'll be cutting out all of the fat from this meat that I can, and ending up with 1.5 pounds for the recipe. All right, that's got all the ingredients in there that we need to prepare. Now it's time to get in the water, the bouillon, and the spices. Now I'm going to go ahead and crush and mix the bouillon cube into the water rather than just toss it into the pot. I think that's a smarter way to go here. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, 1 teaspoon of dried oregano, 1 teaspoon of dried thyme, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. I'll just eyeball that. Okay. Ground black pepper to taste. 5 peppercorns. 1, 2, 3. 3 bay leaves. Okay, so now we've added the onion, the carrot, the celery, the 2 of the garlics, the potatoes, the beef. We need to add the tomato paste, which is how much? 3 ounces. All right, so 1 cup is 8 ounces. So we're going to take just a little less than 1/2 cup of the tomato paste, and we'll add that to the mixture. Then it just says to flatten that out. Okay, it says no need to stir. Flatten out the paste like we did. We're going to close the lid, set the pressure on. We're going to cook on high for 30 minutes. All right, we have it set for 30 minutes. We're gonna let it do its thing. Then we're gonna let it naturally depressurize for about 15 minutes. All right, we'll see you back then. All right, it's been 30 minutes. It is now in its natural decompression mode. We're gonna let this happen for about 15 or 20 minutes while we make some rice, and then we'll release the rest of the pressure and we should be ready to go. So, 20 minutes. All right, we're 10 minutes into the cool down period, cool down depressurization. I've got the rice on, and I'm about to put a lid on that, and that's simmering. Got the jerky on, that'll be ready soon. The last thing we have to do is once we take the lid off, we're gonna put in the peas, and then we have a mixture of the cornstarch and water like we've done before, and it's a 1/4 cup to 2 to 3 tablespoons of cornstarch. Now what'll happen is, once we take the lid off, we're gonna change the pot to saute mode. We're gonna put this in and this will thicken up the stew. That's the goal. Okay, we'll see you back here when the depressurization is done. All right, let's go ahead and let the steam out. It's been 20 minutes doing its own depressurizing. We'll go ahead and finish it off and put the peas in and the cornstarch mix. Be careful not to burn yourself on that. Now you know it's fully decompressed when that little silver pressure valve drops. So we'll watch and wait for that to fall. All right, let's go ahead and open her up. Ooh. Sorry, you got a little steam blasted there. All right, there we go. We're gonna stir it, put the peas in, put in the cornstarch, and put it on saute mode. We're gonna put it in saute mode. And we're gonna let it boil here and thicken up, and then we'll be ready to serve and try. All right, looks like it's done. We're gonna go ahead and serve it up. I almost forgot to put the parsley in, so we're gonna do that real quick. Stir that in. And we're ready to go. Victoria's just gonna have hers in a bowl. I'm gonna have mine over the rice. But next time you see us, we'll be sitting in front of the TV getting ready to give it a try. All right, see you in a minute. Try a little bite. Oop. Potatoes are definitely done. That's good to know that it cooked. A little bit of meat here. It's all well cooked, pretty flavorful, but it needs a little bit of salt.
I agree. The salt factor, yes, it does need some table salt, I agree, added in here. Of note, they asked for low sodium tomato paste, which we didn't use. We used the full sodium, and it still needs some salt. So I can only imagine that it would be pretty bland if you went with the no sodium.
Okay, well, we're gonna get some salt and add it to it. There you go.
Yeah.
Say bye.
Bye.
So we're gonna get a little bit of table salt here. Sprinkle it on. I think that'll just top it off, and it's going to be perfect. All right, well, Instant Pot beef stew. It's kind of good, and definitely going to be hearty. And it's a kind of a gray, looking like a rainy day, so it's a perfect day for it. So I guess we're going to go off and enjoy this right now. All right, well, I guess we'll see you later. Thanks for stopping by.